So first of all, I can't just show one thing that I've done because I do so much in my free time, and showing one thing wouldn't be showing all of me and all that I do. So this is one of the projects that I've done. It's sorry, it's a little windy out here. It's a lawn tractor trailer, and we needed it because we needed to haul stuff, and so we use this now, and it really comes in handy. And it was free because I made it from scratch out of old pieces of scrap wood and some wheelbarrow wheels. This wheelbarrow wheel has a different axle than that one. This is a 3/4 inch axle with a 3/4 inch cap, and they're both made of steam pipe, which is like your regular metal pipe. And I've made I had to make a new bearing for the inside of the wheel because the old one had been blown out. And this one has the original bearing, but it's a different size axle. It's 1.5 inch PVC pipe with an 1.5 inch PVC pipe end cap. And they both of the axles go about 1 foot into the trailer until they meet. So under here, there's that axle right there. It goes about that far in. And then here's the PVC axle. And they're both supported by a 2x4 that I've cut to about 4 inches. And then there's more supports under here, as you can see, and a 2x4 running all the way to the front of the trailer, which is the hitch for the lawn tractor. And the hitch is pretty simple. It's a 3-inch bolt and a little nut right here. And it works great. This is another one of my projects. It's a completely wooden lawnmower, but the wood is pretty thick, so nothing's going to come at me if I run over something. Very safe and very useful. So the story about this is, it all started with this electric motor. Our washing machine broke down, and I think it was something with the water pump, and so we replaced the washing machine. And before it went to the dump, I salvaged the electric motor, which is right here, and I just stowed it away for a couple years until I got the idea to make a push mower, because we don't have a push mower to most small spaces. We just have this lawn tractor and that lawn tractor, and they're both riding mowers. You can see the deck right there. But this was completely just like my creation. So the dimensions on this, it's a 22 by 26.5 inch deck, and these are all 10 inches, these corner pieces. And these corner pieces are, they actually have a purpose. The purpose is, the original design, I didn't have the corner pieces at all, so it was just the plain corner, and the grass would always stop here, and it would get all mushed up, and it would get clogged. And so I've added these, and they're all 10 inches except for this one. And this is a really recent design to deflect any items that I accidentally run over, because the original design it went straight out, and it just had a hole right here in the deck. And that was pretty much it. But now I have this, I guess you'd call it a guard, and this is 13.5 inches. It works really well. Good vacuum. Vacuum is the grass getting pulled up into the deck and then being blown out. So this also acts as a fan. All mower blades act like a fan. This mower blade is a 17-inch blade, which is actually 2 inches too small for the deck, but it's the only thing I had lying around. I want to get a new blade at Lowe's, so it'll work a little better, but that'll be soon to come. The washer on here is a counterweight. This is just used to counteract this side, because this side of the blade's a little heavy because it's off balanced. So counterweight right here and this side. So it's all balanced now. Over here, this may look a little bit out of whack, but I had to put this here so I won't get shocked. It's just a simple power strip, a little switch here, so I turn on the switch and then I turn on the blade right here, and this is a dimmer so I can adjust the speed of the blade, but I can mostly adjust it between idle and full speed. Idle is just so I save power in amps, so I don't completely blow out our house of electricity. So yeah, there's that. And this is a 120 volt AC motor, which is your standard house voltage, and it's not DC, it's AC. AC is alternating current, which means the wires, they switch from negative to positive to negative to positive, and they alternate back and forth. Direct current is like batteries, and this does not run on a battery, because I like AC better. Good. This, by all means, is my favorite project. It's my design of an air engine. And this is, I have not taken this design from anybody. This is my own design. It acts like a two-stroke, but it runs on compressed air. It used to be a gasoline engine. This, I didn't make this from scratch. This is an old Tecumseh 2.5 horsepower engine. I've completely plugged the old intake port. Now the exhaust port, or was exhaust port, acts as the now turned intake port. And so the compressed air comes in through this faucet valve into this half-inch piping, and that pipes right into the engine. And then there's a valve under here that lets it in every time the piston comes to top dead center. So it comes up right to here, and then that valve opens and the air goes in, and then right here is the exhaust port. I've milled a hole 2 inches down the cylinder and left a 1/4 inch of recovery time for the piston. So the used air will exhaust right here at the bottom of the stroke, and then the piston goes down a little bit farther, and then recovery, and it comes back up. So completely my design, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so this is how the engine works. So first of all, we got our cylinder here. This is the top of the stroke. The piston would be right here. And the valve is right here. And this would be the port. where the pipe is. And here's the faucet valve. The air would come in, the compressed air would come in right here, go through the faucet valve and into the engine and push down on the piston. So the next stroke would be the exhaust stroke, which would mean the piston is still traveling down, but the air is getting exhausted out this port. And so you can see right here, piston is coming down. The valve, on the other hand, is still open, but just a tiny bit right now. So the valve is still open, but it's getting ready to close. Air's still coming in. And then as the piston starts to come back up and starts to close off the exhaust port, the valve closes up the intake port. So now there's no longer any air running into the cylinder, and the piston is free to go up. But since this port is closed, it's gonna have air still in the cylinder when there's no openings. So in the head of the engine, which is the top of the engine, I've put a recompression chamber in the top, in the spark plug hole, which is I believe it's a 1/4 inch thread spark plug hole, and I've threaded a pneumatic fitting and a pneumatic compressor tube, which acts, this is the compressor tube right here, and the compressor tube is flexible. So whenever the piston comes back up, it's going to compress all the air inside here, and when it comes over to this stroke again, the air will come back out as the valve is opening and repeat the cycle. So there you go. My design. This is how I made the valve open once every single stroke, and not once every 2 strokes. This has double lobes so that every time the piston comes up, it's going to open, and then when the piston comes up again, it's going to open again. And this is all running on air. There's no gasoline at all. If you see any smoke coming out of the exhaust, that's water vapor, because it goes from high pressure in the cylinder when it's compressed, then out to low pressure, and that makes it cold. That's also how an AC works. So let's give it a little bit of air here. I'm adjusting the valve to change the speed of the engine. It's just acting the throttle, just like in a regular carburetor. It's like this air carburetor with a faucet valve.